Hi, my name is Cindy Rasicot. I'm the author of This Fresh Existence, Heart Teachings from Venerable Dhammananda. I recently did a book discussion with the Insight Meditation Society, and I would like to thank John Spalding and Albert Karcher, who worked hard to prepare a series of pre-recorded conversations with Venerable Dhammananda for our book discussions. I'd like to share those with you here. These are 3 to 4 minute conversations in which Bhikkhuni Dhammananda talks about a variety of subjects like what inspired her to be ordained, taking the Bodhisattva vows, seeing Buddhism through a feminist lens, and other subjects like having hope in our difficult times. I hope you will enjoy these conversations and feel free to share them with others. Thank you.
It is actually collective reasons, First of all, my mother was ordained, was the very first ordained bhikkhuni in my country. But then the time when she was ordained, that was way back 1971, there was no ordination for Theravada yet. So she had to go to Taiwan to receive ordination. And she was fully ordained. Once she returned to Thailand, she already had her temple. So this temple is particularly for bhikkhunis. But at that time, there was just by herself. She was by herself. That was one reason why I walked this path. The second part, which is stronger than the first one, was because I was academic. And I studied the Bhikkhuni Vinaya. I seem to have all the information, or at least most of the information about the Bhikkhunis. Whereas people in my country, they are not aware of the existence of Bhikkhunis. So I was challenged when I went to attend a conference at Harvard University way back in 1983, I think. During that time, the theme of the conference was women, religion, and social changes. That was a time that really kind of awake me. I was a scholar. I had all the information about the Bhikkhunis, yet I was not doing anything to bring about the changes for the Bhikkhunis in my country. That was the major reason why I took this path. And then the third one, I was in television, for 7 years, and I really enjoyed that kind of life, putting on makeup, you have half an hour, putting on makeup, you have half an hour to do your hair. I was actually enjoying that kind of life. And then one day I look in the mirror and it's like another person within myself asking a question. How long do I have to do this? Very interesting, John. The question was in English. How long do I have to do this? That was really kind of how to say, pounded me inside, that yes, it's about time I really considered ordination as my way of life. So there are really 3 major reasons behind my ordination. Yes. I was not ordained for my mother. And when I said that, my mother was kind of disappointed. Because if I was ordained, because my mother was ordained, suppose if my mother passed away, then there is no more fire for me, to keep on this path any longer. So when I said that, she was kind of disappointed. She thought that I took the ordination after her, Of course, I took after her, and I continued her work, The best gift that she brought to this world is my birth. For me to continue the work. This work is very important, and you need to have the lineage. If my mother was alone and I did not continue her work, that would be very difficult. So I am already a 2nd generation to continue this work. In my time, it is much more difficult than her time because the world has changed. You have this internet, you have this, how people get in touch so quickly. So the fact that I was ordained today, my friends in the United States already knew about it. whereas in her time, her ordination took days before anybody come to know about it. And also the fact that I was in television, so I had some audience, following me already. So it was quite a stir in Thailand for the first, at least for the first 3 months after my first ordination. That's way back in 2001. This ordination lifestyle, you don't take it as a joke, it's a very serious, very serious, and it is, you have to be committed. I just wanted to test myself, how committed you are. You better go and take Bodhisattva's precept to know whether you can lead this life. That happened in the year 2000. I took the vow, the Bodhisattva's lay Bodhisattva's vow. And, I went through this Ransiang, burning, how to say, they burn you with the incense, and as I was kneeling in line to go forward to receive the burning, I was asking myself, are you serious about this? To take the burn. And I took the burn, and I completely went through the whole thing. And my Chinese people who were receiving the precept together with me, they were counting me as outsider. I was the only foreigner, that was happening to something like a large crowd of something like 3,000 people. Can you imagine? And in my group, 72 of us. And as I was the tallest, so I was always the head of the line, They didn't really consider me part of them until I took the burn. After I took the burn, they would come and say, oh, ขอบคุณว่าไงนะอันนั้นไม่ใช่ congratulations something congratulations in Chinese, all of them would come and say congratulations. And that was the time when I really felt that I was accepted in my group, in that small group. And yes, taking Bodhisattva's precept, it's very important because it means you are committed to this life, John, not only in this life, but through the future lives until you become enlightened. I don't know how long that's going to be, but that is the path. That is the path. My mother took it, but she was a monastic. So she took another set of 58 vows. I thought I was going to take the same thing. I didn't know that there is any other set of vows, So, but when I went as a layperson, they gave me another set of 34 vows. But as I went there, expecting to take the same vow as my mother, so I took the set of 34, ceremonially from my teacher, Master Xing Yun, the founder of Fo Guangshan. But then I also vow to the Buddha that I was also willing to take the 58 vows of monastics, which I also became monastic the following year. This is very important, very important. I was in the media. I myself was in the media. But the attack was much harder than I expected, comparing to my mother's time and my time, I stopped reading the newspaper because the newspaper is the one that is, I experienced that I was being exploited by one particular newspaper. They were making good sale, They would come with a microphone, and ask me, that person said so and so against you, how would you respond? I didn't check whether that person really said so and so, but I responded like that. So this is printed the next day. And then the same person, the same reporter went and interviewed that person. This is Venerable Dhammananda. Of course, she didn't call me Venerable. She just called me by my name. Dhammananda said so and so. But when she came to me with all respect and all that, John, this went on for about 2 months. I was so stupid and I was so naive, naive. It took me a long time to realize that I was actually exploited. So I stopped completely. I stopped giving interviews. And I removed myself from getting any news from outside and come back to my own practice. I think this Bodhisattva's vows that I took previously really helped to strengthen you. It is like if you are a tree on a high mountain and you are alone, you get both the wind, both the rain, both the storm, everything. And there are no other trees to support you, So you have to have very good root. The root must be very strong. Not only the practice, but also my family background. I have very strong root from my father's side as well as my mother's side to be a fighter. So in my autobiography, I talk a great deal about my roots, which I really think it's very important part of a person to be able to withstand all this criticism. When I have criticism from the clergy, I extend loving kindness to them because they said so and so, because they have not understood. They have not understood. And this not having understood is nothing but ignorance. And Buddhism is nothing but talking about how to overcome ignorance. That was my, how to say, how I keep myself cool, so to say, by understanding why that person is so and so, and I send out loving kindness to him or to her. My part, if people come in with a set mind that no, you cannot be ordained, then I said, oh, that's very well and good, goodbye. But if some people come in with neutral attitude, wanting to, are you really ordained? How did you get ordination? If they come with that kind of attitude, then I spend time talking to them, explaining to them, according to the Tripitaka, according to the Vinaya, this is where you find reference. And this is, I am ordained because I pay respect to the Buddha. It is the Buddha's intention to have the bhikkhunis, so I would tell them, I would spend more time and giving them my own scholarly background to them so that they would understand the way I understand Buddhism. And Buddhism is such a beautiful religion, the very first one to allow the space for women. And here in Theravada, they said women cannot be ordained. That is a shame. We should pay respect to the Buddha much more than we do now. If you really read his intention, this is in Mahaparinirvana Sutra. Read that, and it's very clear how the Buddha's conversation with Mara, the first the first conversation with the Mara and the second conversation with the Mara, it's all there, that the Buddha confirmed his intention to have the fourfold Buddhist communities, meaning the bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, upasaka, and upasika. So beautiful, so beautiful. And we are keeping the heritage. We are keeping the heritage. So we should be happy. We should be happy and we should be very proud that we are true to the spirit of being the Buddha's daughters. Yes, I have to be very thankful to Abby Honor. Her book, Buddhism, Buddhist Women Through Something. Her book, I was reading her book when I was working towards my master thesis. And that was the first book to really open my eyes to read the Tripitaka in a different way. Previously, I was rather negative. Reading the Tripitaka, I was rather negative because it's all male ways of looking at things, They talk about the 5 woes that the women have to go through. One of them is having to give birth. Well, with my own experience, John, you don't have that experience. I can tell you, giving birth is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, such a beautiful experience. It's just a wonder to bring this life to the world. in Christianity, you would say God-given, how to say, responsibility that I thought it's so beautiful. But in the text, it was recorded by men. Men never had this experience, So that's why they said it's one of the 5 woes that women have to give birth. Like that, So when I read I.B. Horner's book, I realized that there is yet another way of reading the text with great appreciation. So now I again come back to read the Tripitaka with a new light, understanding. Take it with a grain of salt when you read the Tripitaka, that it was recorded by male, and these males were all bhikkhus. And these bhikkhus, they had to shun away from women. Women are their enemies because they're not yet enlightened. If they're enlightened, no problem. No problem. The Buddha was accessible to everyone, male or female. He told Ananda to keep away from the women because Ananda was so handsome and women always draw to him. He always draw women around him. That's why the Buddha told Ananda to keep away from women. But once Ananda was enlightened, no more problem. When we read with this light, with this lens, you read the Tripitaka with this new lens of feminist. It is so beautiful. Like I go back to read the Tripitaka again and I understand the meaning, the true meaning behind the teaching. I have to say, yes, it has changed a lot. Oh, the first time when I was ordained, they criticized me. Literally almost immediately behind my back, I remember this case. I was in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is in the north. And as I landed, I went into the toilet. The women were outside were talking. They didn't realize I was in the toilet. I was in one of the toilets with them. They were saying, how dare she wear the robe? So when I came out, I said, yes, I wear the robe because I was ordained. For a monk, when they're ordained, they wear the robe. What do you expect me as a woman to wear? I have to wear the robe, not bikinis. So some of them would say that, oh, how dare you wear the robe like the monk? I said, I'm not like a monk. I am a monk. I am a female monk. With that a little sense of humor, John. Give them a little sense of humor, and then they will come to realize that, yes, there is yet another way of looking at things. So life is full of fun. Beginning with ourselves, this big hope. We have to have big hope. If we are truly Buddhist, we have to trust that the Buddha guided us on this right path to understand that outside and inside is the same. If the world inside us is full of suffering, there is projected outside that the outside world is also full of suffering. So keep practicing so that the world inside and the world outside is the same. Amen. She should write the next one. Cindy should write the third one. Because from then up till now, there is much going on. And during the past 2 years, my health dropped, and I would be active at certain hours and not so active at certain hours. So I think Cindy is aware of that. She comes to visit me every year for fear that I might disappear. So this is even more crucial that she should write another book about this transformation from within. It is transformation from within that we can really help heal the world. Yes. So every time Cindy has this casual Buddhism, very interesting, very short, 15 minutes casual Buddhism. It is really casual. I mean, she just invite people and I never asked for questions. I never asked to see the questions before time. I thought this reaction, immediate reaction, just like how we do now, brings out the best. It is fresh experience. It is fresh now, here and now. I am with John. I am with Cindy. I am with Albert. Right at this moment, I am with you. And you have my 100%. Like that, I think this is important that we always bring out joy in her casual Buddhism.
Oh, that's lovely.
People would be, some people would come with very grouchy face, but towards the end of the conversation, we could feel that person is much more relaxed than the first time when she or he started our conversation.